So, good morning, everyone. I guess you must be all wondering what a dinosaur is doing in front of you, and speaking in this particular event, talking about innovation and transformation. I guess must have learned from the dinosaurs. They're now all extinct because they remained happy just being dinosaurs. So thank you, Richard and Rebecca, for having me here. And when you told me that the topic would be, here's to the crazy ones, I said, okay, I thought things over and said, we must really be crazy when we started our business some 13 years ago, thinking that we will make a go of it. But I guess, yeah, allow me to tell our story, the POINTWEST story, and our journey into the future. Okay, so when the previous client asked me, okay, why did you leave your former company and move to and formed another company? I told him, okay, back then, I was tasked to do top grading. Rene gave me a book on top grading because we were a great fan of the former CEO of GE, Jack Welch, and top grading was his secret weapon. So this involves shedding off the average and poor performers and retaining just the top performers, which account for about a third of the talent population under a normal distribution. So I figured out, instead of making enemies with the two-thirds of these people I'm letting go, why don't I make friends with the top one-third and work with them, but in a different company? So of course I was kidding that former client, but there's some truth to it because right now, well, we have the best minds, we have the best people back at POINTWEST Technologies. So on a serious note, POINTWEST Technologies Corporation was actually, well, we formed it because it resulted from the common vision of like-minded individuals who really were bent on creating a Philippine icon for IT BPM. We wanted to showcase the great Filipino talent. Back in my former company, we were also providing IT services. Okay, and we have always seen how we have outperformed foreign companies. We were always rated highest when it comes to technical proposals, but we lost to large competitors only because we didn't have the scale to take over the entire applications portfolio. So it was a realization that you need to be big, you need to have a brand for you to propel the growth of our industry at a much faster pace. Okay, so, and that's when I said, okay, let's form POINTWEST Technologies. And so at that point in time, we said, okay, it was not exactly the right time because we were still, well, feeling the pain of the 9/11 World Trade attack in late 2001. And we were also recovering from the SARS or the bird flu pandemic that started in China that paralyzed travel and economic activities. But on a personal level, I was turning 50 at that time, and I was joining the Golden Girls Club. So my kids who were still in school were asking me, so Mom, why are you why are you getting out of a very comfortable senior post in your previous company and taking on high-risk path? But I told myself, what the heck? I truly believe that this particular vision will take us to a very fulfilling journey. But of course, deep within, I was telling myself, failure was not an option. Okay, and so after trying out several crazy and bold approaches in marketing, we were able to, get continuing engagements with the large Fortune top 500 companies in the US, and also accounts from countries like Australia, New Zealand, and lately Japan. Our first engagement was really with large airline company in the US. It was sealed with a handshake and a deal that says, okay, you only pay us when you're happy with what we have delivered. So I guess they were happy, and up to this point in time, they had become our largest account and still remained with us. So when we started, we actually targeted the global market, okay? But we also recognized the difficulties and the high cost of global marketing. So we put on our thinking caps and said, how do we market abroad? So we said, okay, why not make use of FTSC, that's the Foreign Trade Service Corps, that had presence in various major cities around the globe. Their mandate was really to promote the Philippine economic interest overseas, and outsourcing back then was really a hot topic. And so we figured, yeah, they would certainly support us, and so we conducted outsourcing 101 sessions whenever the foreign trade representatives would come home. And we wanted to create awareness and make sure that they are equipped to respond to queries from potential buyers and investors. So this actually helped not just the POINTWEST company, but the entire IT BPM industry. So again, it's not just enough having those the presence in all those. So we again said, okay, what other means of getting to the market? So we said, why don't we partner with domestic companies in all the geographies that where we were eyeing? And so we thought that, okay, this foreign companies providing expensive consultancy services, they're the first to go whenever there's a budget cut. So we partnered with them, and anything or all work that can be moved to Manila, they gave it to us, and resulting to a blended cost to their clients who were very happy. So it was a win-win situation for all stakeholders. So I guess in all of those things, when you have very limited resources, it forces you to put on your thinking cap and check out-of-the-box alternatives and solutions. So if you were to plot the journey of POINTWEST, okay, we're now on, well, we have completed the first two phases, and we're now on our third phase. So POINTWEST 1.0 was really about starting the company, gaining traction, and really surviving your first critical year. Okay, so getting our first account was really a key focus, and we all knew that if we didn't get our first account in our first year, we had to pack up and let go. Okay, so we also had to create or form the POINTWEST US in the States so that we can send people to be on-site to be our face, the face of our offshore team to our clients. So things that we were doing on the first phase of POINTWEST. So then came POINTWEST 2.0. So that was all about industrializing the business. So it was really institutionalizing the processes, best practices, and making sure that the growth engines are continuously well-oiled. So, and we thought that if we were to grow fast, we need to make sure that all our processes are repeatable, are mature, and will not depend on a single individual or managers providing the service. Otherwise, we become the bottleneck of our growth. And so we even had ourselves certified, rated CMMI Level 3, and that earned us, well, eligibility to bid on global bidding exercises as well. So when we had our first checkpoint, we actually met our goals on our first checkpoint of generating 1 billion pesos on our 10th year with 1,000 resources. So we were quite happy, and that actually provided us the inspiration, knowing that deep within, our goals were actually reachable. Our aspirations were reachable. And at the same time, it pushed us further to seek up higher goals. So I guess it's true that crazy people are not content or are not comfortable being in a comfort zone. So that's basically what we have done in the first 2 phases of POINTWEST. So now we're on our 13th year and navigating through our POINTWEST 3.0 journey. Okay, so we're operating on bimodal, meaning while we continue to excel in delivering the traditional services, we now are executing, developing our growth strategy that's based on the digital products, services, and platforms. The 2 modes are quite different. One is really characterized by rigidity, compliance. Remember, you have to be certified and compliant with all of these global standards. But on mode 2, it's characterized by speed, agility, as the former speaker mentioned. So it's 2 different. And so the transformation has been very difficult. It has not been easy, and I guess a lot of large companies would share the same experience and pain points in moving or going digital. But we said that, okay, we needed to actually overhaul some of our stuff. We needed to adopt a different mindset, a design thinking mindset. We have to retool our people, develop new skills and competencies. We even had to create new services, new business models, new platforms, so that we can get to the next level of growth. So in between, we said, we're doing all of these things, but the most important part was we were investing now, knowing that the returns will come in later. But of course, everyone knows that nothing lasts forever. Walang forever, as they always say. So we said, okay, we needed to be paranoid and always finding that next S-curve before it gets lost or it's too late. So that has been what we have been doing. And I think if you look at the things happening right now, everything that's staring at us right now, we have seen the dismal reports of growth by large, major Indian companies and also shrinking operating margins. And we've seen that there's a fundamental shift happening as we speak. And there's a lot of technological changes happening. We have heard of IoT, robotics, process automation, and all of these disruptions happening in the various sectors where we are in. So I guess you come to think of, okay, where is the IT business going? So I think the IT business, the IT service business is caught in a perfect storm right now. So, and this has been happening not just today, but it has been creeping for the past 4 years, except that it was easy to disregard this and really to continue on, do not disrupt your business, and really accept all of those revenues that you derive from the existing services that you provide. Back at POINTWEST Technologies, we had to swallow the pill, how hard it may be. So back in 2012, in one of those Gartner conferences that we attended, they talked about the nexus of converging forces, the social, mobile, analytics, and cloud, or SMAC, as you would now call it. They had been noting that this has been shaping or changing or transforming user or consumer behavior, rising to different business opportunities. And in fact, they had been predicting that the nexus of forces will become the technology platform of the future, and which we're seeing right now. I guess, having heard all of the speakers earlier on, and you would hear the speakers later on, you would feel, well, that these changes are happening and it's now more evident. Actually, at POINTWEST, a lot of people has been surprised when they learned that we're into healthcare, and more surprised when they learned that we're into BPO. And this became more pronounced when I assumed the presidency of the HIMAP. I guess, yes, we are strong in IT services, and that's part of our DNA. But earlier on, we have seen that at some point in time, IT will simply become an enabler, and it gets subsumed to business processes. And so we have to immerse ourselves in BPO so that when that convergence happens, we're already knowledgeable in both. So adding a strong IT component together with knowledge of BPO in a specific domain, adding those two up, and that allows us to transform our business into a business service model, which would derive revenue not from the usual FTE-based billing, which gives you a linear growth, but we derive revenue from outcomes based on transactions or value-based mode of billing. So it has been a difficult transformation, but we think that that's something that we have to take in. Throw in the digital platform, you're actually multiplying the opportunities available to shift your business. So we may be dinosaurs under mode 1, but we're infants trying to learn to walk in mode 2. But I should say that before that infant goes to adulthood, there's another cycle of innovation that would be coming in. So I guess the key takeaway is that we need to reimagine our future all the time, because it's either we transform or we perish. So I guess that's my key message, and thank you and have a good day.